What's going on, guys? Welcome to Travel Joe's. Today in this video I'm going to be talking about 10 things that I wish I knew before moving to DC. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to get a notification when I upload a new video. And also stay tuned to the end to get my most important tip for what you should know before moving to DC. And now let's get down into it. Number one for me would be cost. I knew DC was an expensive city to live in before moving here. But you just don't realize how expensive it is until you actually move down here. Coupled with the cost of housing, utilities, groceries, you name it, DC can be a very, very expensive place to live in. Number two for me would be the lack of food culture. If you're from New York City, San Francisco, LA, Chicago, you know that there's a big food culture out in those different cities. But in my personal opinion, I don't think there's as much food culture here in DC. There are a couple of restaurants in the city, but if you're looking for, some Japanese authentic cuisine or African cuisine, you're gonna have to go outside of DC to find that. Food culture is actually pretty small here, to be honest. Number three would be the weather. Before moving to DC, I knew it was down south. I had a feeling it was gonna be hot or warmer than New York City or Chicago. Moving down here, I realized it actually gets really, really hot over the summer. So just be prepared to be in really hot weather over the summer when you move down here. On the other note, DC can get a little chilly, but not as chilly as the northern part of the US. That's something to have in mind, that DC can get really hot, but it also you can have mild winters in DC. Number four would be all the cool things are outside of DC. When I moved to DC, I realized that all the cool stuff are actually outside of DC. A lot of people are gonna disagree with me that there are a lot of fun things to do here, happy hour or whatever, but when I talk about fun, I mean actual fun things to do. There are a few parks here and there in DC, but you're gonna have to go outside of DC to get that. So just be prepared to encounter that when you come to DC. Number five is it's hard to make friends, or it can get hard to make friends in DC. Sometimes it could be hard to get your social circle. So just be prepared to not make any friends in the first few months of getting here. But my recommendation would be joining social club, sports club, your church club or whatever, just to find that social circle. I think that's the best and the easiest way to really click with people in the district. Otherwise, it can be really hard to make friends here, especially with a lot of people moving out. DC is a very transient city, so you're gonna find out that people are coming into the city, people are also leaving the city, people are getting other job opportunities elsewhere. So just be prepared to encounter that when you move down. Number six on my list would be that there's poverty in your backyard. Before moving down to DC, I thought it was flowers and roses and just a bunch of high profile things in the district. But one thing that you're gonna notice is that in DC in itself, there's a lot of poverty. Just be prepared to see a lot of poverty in the district when you move down here. Number seven on my list would be the lack of art scene. There are museums, there are a couple of galleries, there are murals all over the place, but is DC really the place for art? I don't think so. If you're looking for a place where you can really connect with the art scene or that art culture, I mean, you're talking about Brooklyn, Austin, Seattle, Portland. Other than that, DC is definitely not the place you want to go for art. I had to go to Richmond, Virginia to get the art scene, to find people that are into the arts. So just be prepared for that before you come here. Number eight would be that the dress code is very formal. When you live in DC and work in DC, it's pretty formal here. Everyone is formal here. When you take the trains in the morning, when you're going home, even on the weekends, things tend to be formal here. I think there's a huge backpack culture / suitcase culture in DC that you're not gonna find anywhere else. Number nine on my list would be that the metro closes at 12 p.m. As much as you want the metro to stay open, it's not like New York City. Here in DC, the metro actually closes at 12 or 11. Just be prepared to get an Uber because the metro is gonna close early and you can't get the metro back home at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I think that's the charm of New York City, is being able to take the metro at very late hours. Just be prepared to get an Uber or a taxi back home. And my last and most important thing that I wish I knew before moving to DC is that you don't need a master's degree to make it here. Contrary to popular belief, I think DC is a very intellectual city. There are a lot of people here with a master's degree. It is a very competitive city in nature. However, do I think you need a master's degree to make it here? No. I've seen a lot of people without master's degrees come to the city and actually make connections and be very successful. If you want to go for that master's degree, go for it, absolutely. I don't discourage people from doing that. However, I think you can still make it in DC or be influential or have a great job in DC without a master's degree. There you have it, everyone. Those are my 10 things I wish I knew before moving down to the district. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more videos.